Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of flipping 100 mil to 1 billion GP. In last episode, we ended the episode with 158 mil, so that's what we'll be starting today. Definitely looking to make some sweet gains this week. As we're already at a 158 mil cash stack, what I'm thinking of doing is investing half of our GP into these gear-related flips or flips that don't have extremely high volume, and then we'll also do some high volume flips to make that consistent and save profit. There has been some really good volume on the Berserker rings lately, and they've been very volatile because of the update for Desert Treasure 2, as they announced that a new ring might be coming, and a lot of people are speculating that that is going to be an update to the Berserker ring, making an add-on for the Berserker ring that is going to make an improved ring. But besides that as well, Brimstone rings, I love flipping these. They're just such a consistent moneymaker overnight for me, so I've got to try them. Just a quick side note too, I also think they're adding upgrades for the Archer's ring and the Seer's ring as well, so it's not just the Berserker ring that's getting this update. Another new flip that I'd like to try is the Yanillion Hops. Now, this is a flip that I saw someone in my flipping Discord do, and it actually worked out very well for them. They got a very high ROI from it, so I'd like to try it myself, see if I can make any profit overnight from flipping it. The buy limit is 11,000 every 4 hours, and the daily volume is around 570k, so there definitely is some room there to get these offers filled and sold back on the exchange. We added a few more flips that I'm more comfortable with. The Carol's leather tops have had a big dip recently, and honestly, I expect them to rip up in price over the next 2 weeks or so. We're not going to make an investment, but it might be good to get in on a few of these. Although I am playing them very safely, we are currently listed a little bit under where I think they're going to bounce price-wise. So we're about 15k underneath that, currently holding support around 1.63k, or mil, excuse me. Anyway, we've also got the Blighted Super Restores and Ancient Essence as well. These are two I flip pretty consistently overnight on my main account without issues. Alright, we have all of our GP invested in our overnight flips. I accidentally bought a little bit of Ancient Essence for the high price, but don't worry, I think we'll be able to sell this back without an issue in the morning. Anyway, let's let these flips sit and see how much profit we'll make tomorrow. And we are back. I actually did not get a chance to record some flips this morning because I was in a rush to get to work, but a lot of our offers actually did end up coming through. We did flip the Amethyst Broad Bolts as well, which we ended up making 165k on. We also have made 182k on the Ancient Essence so far, which is quite good, and we also made 193k on the Brimstone Rings, but our best flip was the Yanillion Hops. That made us 356k. I'm definitely going to be flipping that tonight. Anyway, let's collect our profit here, and what I'm going to do is adjust the rest of our offers, also sell back things that have not been sold yet, and hopefully we can make a little bit more money here. If all of these Blighted Super Restores sell, that is going to be an 800k flip overnight, which is insane. This item has been fluctuating up and down with speculation of the Bounty Hunter update coming out, and I think a lot of people want to invest in these as they're likely to go up in price. We ended up selling all of the Blighted Super Restores for 850k in profit. That is one of the best flips that we've had on this entire series so far, a 7.6 ROI on our money for that one flip alone. Currently, we're up 1.8 mil on this episode so far. I'm going to list a few easy flips to flip before I go to sleep, and then we'll do our overnights. We have a bunch of items here that we have to flip back, but we did end up selling all of the Berserker rings for a 340k profit, so not bad at all. I'm going to relist all the flips we have and see how much profit we've made. I'm going to work on a few active flips today, and the Osmutan's Fang is one of my favorite active flips to do. You can very easily get 150 to 200k margins on these right now, and there is a very high volume on them due to Raids 3 still relatively being new. We're definitely starting to get a bit riskier with our flips. I'm going to try and flip this Veninator bow as well. This is one I've tried a few times, but I've never had really great success on it. There is our first Fang flipped, and that was for 140k in profit. I'm telling you guys, flipping these Fangs, they're actually pretty cheap, but hold very, very nice margins. Let's try and do another one. One Twisted Buckler flipped as well, 83k profit into the stack. A few of these flips are definitely going to take some time, the Abyssal Dagger and the Grimy Raynar Weed especially, as well as the Venenator Bow. Those do take a while as well, but in the meantime, we'll flip all of the other slots actively as best as we can. Another Fang flipped. These Fangs just keep flipping and the margins are staying great. We're averaging about 148k for every single one that we flip, and I think that's about the 5th one we've done so far, so we're just going to keep doing it until it stops working. Also, I'm getting my Web Weaver bow and trying to flip this as well. I'm flipping a few on my main right now, and the margin is looking really, really good. So I'm hoping we can do at least 1 or 2 Web Weaver bows, buy them for cheap, as the margins are fluctuating pretty large on them right now, so we might be able to take advantage. Did a very quick cannonball flip, took about 5 minutes total, and it was really, really easy. 4 GP margin on all of that for a profit of 44k. I was able to catch a really good margin on the Amulets of Fury. We made 26k for every single one that we flipped so far, so currently we're up about 133k on them, which is actually really nice. I'm also trying to flip these Dragon Dart tips as well. They have a massive margin right now, so I'm going to use this extra slot that I have to start to sell them off. That way we can realize some of that profit. We're currently up about 1.2 mil on the session, but things are getting a little bit stiff, so what I'm going to do is cancel all of my buy offers and list everything back to sell, and then translate into some longer term flips for the next like 4 to 6 hours. We just popped up to 1.5 mil in profit because we made 234k on the Dragon Dart flip. I knew that was going to be a good one. I think that is a decent spread of flips, although we haven't used all our money, so I'm going to log in about an hour to 2 hours and see if I can list a few more things after these flips have sold off. You really want to be using as much of your cash stack as you can when you are flipping in these scenarios, because the more money you deploy, the more money you're obviously going to be able to make, as you'll have more leverage on the economy. Okay, we have had a little luck over the past 2 hours, but mostly on sell offers. The only thing that really ended up buying was the Yanilian Hops, which I'm excited to flip around for a decent margin. But everything else that hasn't bought, we're going to readjust, and oh, there's the Venenator Bow. That was actually surprising, did not expect that, but that's actually going to be an insane margin if we flip this, so let me go list it real quick. It's actually called the Venenator Bow. I have been messing that up the entire time, but either way, we should be able to make around 600 to 700k on this one bow alone, as long as we're able to sell it over the next few hours at this level. I'm a little bit nervous for this one. It definitely looks like it is on a downtrend, so the only luck we're going to have is if we're able to flip it in the short term, so we're going to monitor this flip closely. Besides that, looking to flip into some more stable flips and see how much success we can have with that. I'm thinking we go for these high volume resource items that tend to hold a good margin throughout the day. And these would be the medium to high volume. These are not the ultra high volume that you'll see me flip a lot for safe returns. These are going to be slightly riskier, but hopefully, again, higher returns for the risk. And that Venenator Bow sold off 650k in profit. That is insane. I'm going to try to get another one as quickly as I can and just keep flipping this margin. This could make us a lot of money and could be a game changer for this episode. Alright, we have a lot of flips listed here, so I'm just going to let this sit for maybe 30 minutes and I'll check on it, and we'll just keep relisting these medium to high volume items that hold these great margins that are just a little bit more niche in the game, but you can flip them consistently for a good profit. It just takes time. I left my flips a little bit longer than I anticipated, but good news all around. We were able to flip another Venenator Bow, and I think that's a total of 1 mil profit on those, about 1.2 mil. We flipped each for about 600k, which is amazing. Now also, we got some of this dynamite sold off, currently up 97k on that, but we have a ton more that we have to sell back, so I think this is going to look really good as well. A lot of profit coming in from this dynamite so far, and I think that's going to sell off pretty quickly. We're also going to get a good margin on this light bearer as well. We'll probably make around 200k on the one that we actually did end up buying here, but I don't think we're going to get another one just because the price has moved away a lot. Also, these Yanillion hops have sold off just slightly so far. I think we have about 30k in profit on them. What I'm actually going to do is lower these a little bit just to make them a little bit more competitive with current price listings. Still making good money on these, but not as much as we were originally expecting. I think we'll get about 250k total profit from that flip alone. In the meantime, though, let's get a little dicey with some active flips. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff on the market right now, and I want to attack it. This session is totally going in our favor. We have a massive flip going on right now on the brimstone rings. I am hoping we can sell them all, but I've already sold one for a 205k profit. I'm going to watch these extremely closely because they just pumped up a lot in price, and I definitely don't want to be holding the bag if the direction goes down in price. There is another one, 408k in profit so far. This is looking insane. Can't wait to show you the final result. And of course, I made a little bit of a mistake here, guys. I accidentally bought an imbued heart for max price on max margin right after a price pump because I had the saturated heart offer in and I put in imbued heart by accident using the saturated heart price. Big mistake, but hopefully we can sell this off and just lose about 300k. I know it stinks, but it is a lot better than holding this down and potentially losing a couple mil on it. Hopefully we can sell this off. The last brimstone ring sold off. In total, we made 930k flipping all of these. Look at this, guys. Bought them for 5.1 mil each and then was able to sell them off for 5.3 mil about. That is super, super lucky, guys. I don't think we're going to have luck like that in quite a while. And of course, I messed up this imbued heart buy as well, so we're bound to lose a little bit of money there to eat into those profits, just slightly. Overall, though, having a really good session, up 1.3 mil on the hour alone, probably 1 mil after we lose money on the imbued heart. Well, we ended up selling the imbued heart, but we lost a lot of money on it, 618k. Yikes, I miscalculated that one a little bit, but luckily we're still up on the session. Plenty more profits to come in. Definitely a mistake I want to avoid in the future. This is going insane, guys. Right after that L we took on the imbued hearts, we were able to flip 2 light bearers for 548k total, which is insane. I've never had margins like that on the light bearers before. But that being said, I hope they continue. And we were able to sell the Armadillo Godsword as well for 150k profit. We'll take that to the stack. The light bearers are continuing to buy, so we're just going to flip these as they come in. That way I can make as much GP as possible from them. Also, we'll find a few new items as we do have 73 mil ready to deploy. The only flip that is not really going our way is the Web Weaver bow. We haven't been able to sell that in quite some time, so I might readjust that to try to sell it off for a smaller profit. I still think we are in the profit range on this. Worst case scenario, we're going to lose about 50k. And another light bearer has sold. We just flipped our 5th light bearer for 780k in total profit. That is looking really good. We also finished these mahogany planks for 186k in profit. I don't really know what's happening right now, but margins are really, really good across the board. So I'm just taking advantage of it as much as I can. And for everything else, I think we're just going to let this slow sell. I am going to log off for a little bit and take a break. So I'm going to set some flips we can do in the medium term just to keep making some money. We're back, and all of our Scapenomics Godswords have sold. Basically, everything has sold besides the Dynamite, which we're going to let sit for the next couple of days. I will be logging off for about 2 days due to Easter, so what I'm thinking of doing is setting some flips so that I can just leave and make easy GP off of. That being said, we're already up 8 mil in the past 2 days, which is some really good returns, so I'm hoping we can get some while I'm logged off. My goal is to get at least 1.5 to 2 mil. Before we set those flips, though, I still have 1 night of overnight flipping that I can do before then, so what I'm going to do is flip these medium to high volume resource items. They worked out pretty well for me today, but I think they'll do even better overnight, so I'm going to try again. I know I had the same goal last night, but this should work out a lot better as I've done a bit more research on these items. Here are all the overnights for tonight, and we actually have an additional 20 mil in the cash stack, not deploying everything we have because I want to play it safe from a risk standpoint. The Lily of the Sands, I've never really flipped this before, and it is one of those lower volume resource items that we've been looking at, so just want to make sure we don't go overboard and buy too many of them. Anyway, let's leave this and see how it makes out in the morning. We're back, and it has been a few days, but all of our items have sold off, so I was very happy to log on and see this. The Lily of the Sands was the best performer. It made us 1.6 mil for only flipping 5,000 of them, so that one worked out extremely well for us. Anyway, let's go ahead and collect that, and we currently have 169 million GP in the cash stack. Right now, I'm just listing flips that I think will be pretty easy to flip, and flip them relatively actively. Just want to make some easy profit while I have some extra time today. And we've had a lot of luck selling a bunch of this stuff back. We made a fair bit on the Justiciar face guard, I think about like 400k or so really good profit there. And everything else honestly was a good profit as well. The only item which we're struggling on a little bit is the Guthan's War Spear. They crashed down to like 200k overnight, and we did buy 10 of them at 221k. I'm not really too concerned about it though. We definitely will be able to sell them off for like 230, 240k, so we'll still make a little profit. I think what we'll do now is just list a few items, flip them back and forth, have a slight active, passive session, and see how much we can make. Alright guys, I hate to say it, but I made a pretty stupid mistake. These Ursine chain maces I originally bought for around 15 million GP, and I left them in to sell over the weekend, thinking they would just easily sell for like 15.8, 15.9 mil, but turns out that was actually the peak price. So I just looked today and barely was able to sell them off for 13.8 mil each. That is quite a big loss coming in for us, and it was a complete accident. Could have avoided it too. We are back. It's been about 12 hours, and we did sell a few things here. We weren't able to sell all the Amulets of Fury, and it doesn't really look like many more Amethyst Darts have bought or Green Dragon Leather. Anyway, we're up 2.6 mil today, which really isn't that bad considering the flips. 1.3 mil on the Blighted Super Restores, and 500k so far on the Amulets of Fury. Besides that, all the other flips were around 350k or less, so honestly, pretty good gains all around. What I'm going to do is adjust the current flips we have, try to sell them off as quickly as possible, and list another set of overnights. And we have sold everything off, which is great. We made about 20k on the rest of the Green Dragon Leather, which really is not that great. The Amulets of Fury made us 579k in total, and the Amethyst Darts came in at a nice 154k. That gives us exactly 3 mil from last night's overnights. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and collect that and set another round of overnights. The market is in a really weird state right now because I think a lot of people are getting nervous about the Fresh Start World Merge that is happening on April 19th. We are about a week away from that, so I'm seeing a lot of items get plummeted in price. Now, that might be the reason for these Guthan's War Spears going for basically nothing right now, but we're going to avoid most of that chaos as I will be on vacation next week, so it really won't get to see how it plays out, which is unfortunate, but these low prices are pretty appealing from an investment standpoint. We have our flips set. I'm actually pretty nervous to flip tonight just because of all the Fresh Start World chaos that is going on. It's really setting prices to be volatile, which honestly, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. If you're actively flipping volatile markets, it's awesome, or if you get your prediction right overnight, it can make you bank. But considering there is a lot of uncertainty right now with these items, we really don't know how much supply is going to be dumped into the main game, so there certainly is a lot of concern behind a lot of these like really common items, right? Like, there's no doubt in my mind there will be tons of Barrow stuff coming into the game with Fresh Start World merges. Even though after a few months no one was really playing Fresh Start Worlds, that doesn't mean there's already a lot of existing supply. Man, I am ranting a lot about this, but anyway, let's leave these flips overnight. The Guardian boots, I actually bought a pair pretty much immediately, but we did get them for around the same price. So what I'm going to do is leave these offers in and see how it goes. It is the next morning, and honestly, it looks like we've had a lot of success on the overnights. I've been looking at the prices on the items that we've bought, and most of the stuff has fluctuated upwards. So that's a really good sign for us. Let's turn around and sell everything and see what kind of profit we're looking at. We're not making as much as I'd hoped, but we're still getting a really good profit all around. I'm going to try to slow sell the Amethyst Crystal and the Dragon Arrows, but the Brimstone Rings and Blighted Super Restores were great performers last night, making a lot of money on those, probably around 700k on the Brimstone Rings in total, and the Blighted Super Restores should net us another like 1 mil, so really good on those two items alone, just hoping that the rest of the stuff sells in a decent amount of time. Alright, at this point in the episode, I need to sell my items so I can get this uploaded, so we're going to take an L on a few things here. Not ideal, but it shouldn't be too bad of a loss. We're probably looking at 800k max loss on the Guardian boots, with the Armadillo D'hide body probably a 5k loss, and the Guthan's War Spears maybe around a 500k loss as well. Wow, that was painful to sell all of those off, but in the end, we only lost 610k, so I'm really not that upset by it, but it could have gone a lot better. Anyway, we're at the end of the episode. We're ending it with 173.2 mil, which means we made 15.2 mil in this episode. Pretty good gains. We got a little bit sloppy with a couple of flips, especially at the end there on the Guardian boots, but nonetheless had a lot of luck with the Blighted Super Restores. They made us bank overnight. I'll put a screenshot on the screen right now of the top 7 flips that we had in this episode. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.